So we've timed this party tonight to sublime perfection, not just merely in terms of the date, but in terms of the drama that's been going on in Westminster at this hour. As you know, there have been many divisions tonight on the subject of Northern Ireland, backstop and other matters besides. I was constantly pressing the Home Secretary to come soon, come soon. There's huge majorities. And in the end, it turns out that the government has lost one of the votes by the fantastic margin of just one. So he has every good excuse for being a little late. The cause, of course, of the lateness is the monocausal explanation for all ills in this Parliament, that is in the person of Dominic Grieve, who has brought all of these amendments. But we have him here now, better late than never, and for all of you who are loyal enough to stay along, please come, drink, eat, be merry. As you know, the old line about think tanks, 1/4 about thinking, 3/4 about catering, applies evermore. And I'm delighted to say that our superb team here at Policy Exchange, led by our Managing Director, Julia Mizzen, Robert Hansard, our Head of Events, have managed to bring in, at the last minute, some much-needed, urgent, extra supplies. So please join me in thanking them for organising this wonderful party. One of the key things, of course, in any think tank is the capacity to recruit, and that continuing ability is at the heart of our mission, at the heart of what keeps us fresh, keeps us keen. An outstanding new chairman, Alexander Downer, previously High Commissioner of Australia in this country, longest serving foreign minister in his country's history. Will Heaven come from being managing editor at The Spectator to being now a head of policy. Rupert Oldham-Reid, having previously been in the Chief Whip's office, now here as head of research. We've had a great year. I'll just merely alight upon a few of the highlights. Our work on housing by Jack Airy, which has put Building Beautiful at the heart of the agenda on housing, our work described by The Economist as the most important idea in housing since council house sales. Our work on education, on discipline in the classroom by Joanna Williams, emphasising the importance of discipline and the difficulties with that in maintaining teacher recruitment and retention. Our work on social care by Warwick Lightfoot, uniting fiscal conservatives with people in the ageing charities to create a new national consensus in that area. Our work on community cohesion, notably on the fashionable definitions of Islamophobia by Sir John Jenkins, our senior fellow previously of the Foreign Office, by Trevor Phillips, previously of the Equalities Commission, now also with Policy Exchange, Dr. Martin Frampton, a leading historian of Islamism, and Tom Wilson. Outstanding work which has changed the quality of the national debate. Richard Eakins, our head of judicial power, again on lawfare and on ensuring that our troops are protected from promiscuous lawsuit by people who aren't always supportive of their work. And of course, the work that's been done by Lord Bew, Lord Trimble, Graham Gudgeon and others on the Irish backstop, which has played so important a part in the debate on the future of the Irish border. We've been working also on a series of events looking forward. What do we want from the next Prime Minister? Our work on that area launched by Sir Linton Crosby and sort of hailing a new set of work looking to the future of what's going to happen in the coming months to come. In all of this, one of our strongest supporters has been our guest of honour tonight. He's been a supporter of ours from the period that he was Culture Secretary with the work that we've done together on digital policy. At the Department of Business with the work that he's done on ensuring a proper balance between further education and higher education spending, and also on the national living wage. His work as Communities and Housing Secretary, actually as the first Secretary of State to put Building Beautiful on the national agenda during his last days in office there. And of course, presently, as Home Secretary, one of the great officers of state and one of the hottest seats in the House. It's my pleasure to present to you our friend, the Home Secretary, Right Honourable Sajid Javid MP. Thank you, Sajid.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dean. Now, I've got form of turning up late to important speeches because of parliamentary votes, so I hope you forgive me. But it's a real privilege to be invited here as an honoured guest at such a distinguished gathering. I know you've got great food, you've got some right-wing chatter going on, This must be what the Trump banquet was like. I've been thinking. Look, I'm also delighted that you have all of you that are here now, you've managed to tear yourself away from the ITV debate tonight. But that does mean, of course, that you will not be able to play the debate bingo, the debate bingo playing game. So, every time Jeremy mentions entrepreneur, drink. Boris winning London, drink. Now, if I was in the final two, if you had a drink every time I said that I'm the son of a bus driver, you'd be on the floor in 5 minutes flat. But now, I won't speak for more than a few minutes today. This reception is a very good start to our summer, but as good as the weather has been so far, it's sadly not going to be a slow, lazy summer. I remember when the Prime Minister spoke here right from this stage last summer. Chequers was just a couple of weeks away, and we were all gearing up for negotiating our future relationship that autumn. It didn't quite work out that way. Last week, I managed to get away from this intense weather, from the factional politics and the seemingly intractable problems by going to Israel and the Palestinian territories. But seriously, if you haven't got a summer holiday booked already, I suggest you go on one right now. Because the new PM's first 100 days, they won't just involve having a refreshed cabinet and a refreshed policy agenda, but in that time, we also have to get a negotiated deal through Brussels and Parliament, hold our own party conference, and prepare for and perhaps manage and deliver a no-deal outcome. Now, around the corner from here is the Home Office, and over there in the last 15 months, we've ramped up our no-deal preparations. We've rebuilt our relationship with the police, designed a new, open, post-Brexit immigration system. And we've got 3 acts through Parliament that's more than any other government department. That included an expansion of our powers to counter terrorism and hostile state activity. And since then, I've also announced further plans to look at an espionage bill. Now, that's something that Policy Exchange has very much been pushing for. From backing us up on tough decisions with foreign terrorist fighters, to generally being a foil to some of the most activist lawyers that are out there. These aren't necessarily some of the easiest or the most sexiest issues, but they are some of the most important. So I commend Policy Exchange for flying the flag for them. Thank you very much for everything that you do. Thank you. Now, as for the leadership campaign, I'm not sure what more I could have done. I showed off my little dog, Bailey. I showed off my mother and her cooking. Even my daughter's letter. But although I did say I didn't have to reveal any unusual artistic hobbies that I might have. Now, look, I made a pitch to my colleagues, and I'm proud of the support that I've got from some of the colleagues that I admire most. We ran a straight and honest campaign, and it was a great opportunity to set out what we need to do next as a country. But it's funny. I know that the campaign is over for most of us, but I still keep seeing Rory's selfies. Now, is someone going to tell him? Or am I? Wait. And I also keep seeing some of my policy ideas. 20,000 more police officers. Using record low borrowing rates to invest in an ambitious infrastructure program. A focus on rebalancing our economy and rolling out full fibre. More emphasis on the English language for all our communities. Showing more love for our public services, especially our schools, further education and apprenticeships. most of them promoted by one of the remaining candidates in particular. Now, as Truman said, it's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit for it. Bit like being a think tank. Now, I've been encouraged, very encouraged, by Boris's endorsements for these policies. I've had a few weeks now to reflect on what we need to do next as a country. And just this weekend, I came home to my own ballot paper. So I can announce to you exclusively, as revealed in a Sunday newspaper, that I voted for Boris. I have huge respect for Jeremy and the campaign he's been running, but I believe that Boris is best placed to deliver what we need as a country at this critical time, and he has my full support. You can clap if you want. Yeah, please go ahead. Now, after almost a decade in power, it's clear that we need to renew ourselves while we are in government. Otherwise, I think people will be tempted to vote for Corbyn as some kind of change or renewal. And we know if that happened, the damage would be irreversible. It would take us generations to get rid of that kind of damage. The first and foremost challenge, of course, is to deliver Brexit. But if we can do that, and if we can tackle the underlying reasons for the growing divisions in our society, we really can bring the country together, and our best days really do lie ahead. The calendar ahead, yes, the calendar may look intimidating, but I am genuinely an optimist. There's every chance that at next year's reception, your speaker will be regaling you about our managed exit, our stabilised politics, and our robust economy. Britain is more than a match for it. So now it's time for us politicians to step up, and we'll need help from each one of you in this garden, because you are all people who love our great country. So enjoy your drinks and buckle up. Thank you very much. Thank you.